The real hardcore people think they've located Noah's Ark. They've located the remains of it on Mount Ararat. There's this bizarre feature in the rocks that they believe is where it.
The story of Noah's Ark has been a story of faith, survival, and mystery for thousands of years. Skeptics have questioned its existence, while believers have held it as a symbol of divine intervention. But now, cutting-edge artificial intelligence has turned its digital gaze on this ancient enigma, analyzing texts, geography, and patterns no human could decipher alone. What it uncovered beneath layers of history and legend has left historians and scientists alike stunned. Could the Ark have been more than a myth? And if so, what truth has been hidden for millennia? Stay with us as we find out. The story began when a team of researchers fed vast amounts of historical, geological, and textual data into an advanced AI designed to detect patterns invisible to the human eye. The AI, capable of cross-referencing thousands of ancient manuscripts, flood accounts, and satellite imagery, began to focus on recurring details, specific measurements, locations, and timelines consistently overlooked by scholars. What caught the AI's attention first were inconsistencies in the traditional narrative of the Ark's location. Many ancient texts referenced a mountain in the north where the Ark rested, but which mountain remained vague, shifting in description over centuries. The AI processed thousands of references from Mesopotamian tablets, biblical passages, and even maritime logs, seeking common threads. Its analysis revealed patterns in dimensions, materials, and animal capacities that had previously seemed symbolic or exaggerated. The AI noted that the Ark's dimensions, when converted into modern units, corresponded surprisingly closely with structural ratios used in ancient engineering practices across multiple civilizations. The algorithm flagged these correlations as statistically improbable to occur by chance. The AI's predictions led the team to remote highland regions, where sediment layers indicated a massive flood event around the era traditionally associated with Noah. The convergence of textual clues and geological evidence suggested the possibility of a real-world structure underlying the legends, a discovery that demanded further investigation. Even more astonishing, the AI identified recurring symbols in texts from vastly different cultures that appeared to encode not just the Ark's dimensions, but its intended function and methods of construction. Patterns emerged that hinted at knowledge far ahead of its time, preserved cryptically in human records. The team realized they were on the verge of something unprecedented, a fusion of ancient wisdom and modern computation pointing to an Ark far more tangible and far more sophisticated than anyone had imagined. As the AI continued its analysis, the story of Noah's Ark began to emerge in unprecedented detail. The algorithm scanned satellite imagery, geological surveys, and topographical maps, seeking anomalies that could indicate man-made structures hidden beneath millennia of sediment. Its digital eyes honed in on a mountain range long thought to be ordinary, yet curiously aligned with ancient flood accounts. The AI's pattern recognition revealed subtle linear depressions and soil disturbances, too regular to be natural formations. These formations appeared in a grid-like layout, consistent with a vessel of massive proportions. By overlaying textual dimensions from historical records onto the geographic features, the AI suggested that the Ark's design could have been based on principles of stability and buoyancy far ahead of known ancient engineering knowledge. But the most shocking revelations were in the details. The AI detected a network of compartments within the supposed Ark footprint, matching descriptions from obscure texts that had been dismissed as allegorical. These compartments were proportioned to house hundreds of species, and some even seemed designed for mechanisms to regulate air and water flow. The AI cross-referenced this with the genetic diversity and habitat needs of animals mentioned in historical accounts, finding a near-perfect correlation. Researchers watched in awe as the AI highlighted another anomaly. Certain sediment layers contained traces of organic materials consistent with large-scale animal habitation and construction tools. Yet radiocarbon dating suggested these layers were older than previously assumed flood events. This implied that the Ark legend might not just be metaphorical, it could be anchored in historical reality. Even more astonishing, AI revealed encoded coordinates hidden in the text itself, subtle numerical patterns embedded in the original Hebrew and Akkadian manuscripts. These coordinates pointed directly to the area identified in satellite surveys, aligning legend with location. The realization stunned the team. Ancient scribes may have intentionally encoded precise information about the Ark, knowledge that remained inaccessible until the AI unveiled it. At that moment, the Ark was no longer a distant myth. It became a tangible puzzle, hidden in plain sight, awaiting the combination of human curiosity and artificial intelligence to reveal its secrets. The AI's next breakthrough came from a meticulous analysis of ancient manuscripts. Scholars had long dismissed certain passages in the Hebrew Bible and Mesopotamian texts as symbolic or allegorical. But the AI detected subtle numerical patterns hidden within the letters themselves, sequences that, when decoded, revealed precise latitude and longitude markers. These hidden coordinates were repeated across texts separated by centuries and cultures, hinting at a deliberate effort to preserve the Ark's location. The algorithm compared these coordinates with satellite data and topographical maps, revealing a striking match: a plateau at the edge of a highland region, partially obscured by erosion and centuries of sediment deposition. The AI highlighted natural formations that suggested a massive vessel-shaped indentation, invisible to the naked eye but detectable through digital elevation modeling. The probability that such alignment was coincidental was virtually zero. Further scrutiny revealed that the coordinates were encoded using a system of gematria, assigning numerical values to letters, interwoven with astronomical references. Ancient scribes had apparently encoded the Ark's resting place using celestial patterns, ensuring that the knowledge could survive through centuries of linguistic and cultural change. The AI untangled these codes, revealing an astonishing level of sophistication in ancient record-keeping. But the implications went beyond mere location. The encoded texts also contained information about the Ark's dimensions, internal layout, and the organization of its compartments. The AI translated the patterns into schematic models, suggesting that the Ark had been designed to house not only animals, but tools, provisions, and possibly even knowledge critical for post-flood survival. The research team realized they were witnessing an unprecedented convergence of ancient wisdom and modern technology. Hidden for millennia, these coordinates suggested that the Ark was far more than a story. It was a real structure, meticulously planned and strategically preserved. The legends of Noah were no longer just myth. They were a map, a blueprint, and a challenge to human understanding all at once. As the team prepared to explore the terrain indicated by the AI, the tension grew. Could the Ark itself, buried beneath layers of history, truly still exist? And if so, what would they find once they reached it? With the hidden coordinates identified, the AI shifted focus to reconstructing the Ark itself. Using textual measurements, descriptions from ancient sources, and modern engineering principles, it generated a digital blueprint, an unprecedented map of a vessel long thought to exist only in legend. The design was staggering in its precision, revealing a structure optimized for both durability and buoyancy, far more advanced than any known vessel from antiquity. The blueprint suggested a rectangular ship, enormous in scale, with a length, width, and height consistent with descriptions in the Book of Genesis. But the AI revealed hidden complexities: multiple internal decks, strategically placed compartments for animals of various sizes, and chambers designed for food storage, water purification, and ventilation. Each section followed a meticulous logic, indicating careful planning for long-term survival at sea. Perhaps the most shocking discovery was a series of internal channels and mechanisms resembling early engineering solutions for temperature and airflow regulation. The AI noted that these designs were centuries ahead of anything archaeologists had ever encountered. It suggested that whoever constructed the Ark had not only the materials, but the knowledge to engineer a floating habitat capable of sustaining life for extended periods. The AI also incorporated data from the genetic diversity of ancient animal species. By analyzing breeding patterns, diet, and size, it placed each species in compartments where they could coexist without predation or disease. The result was a vessel optimized for survival, not just a symbolic story. As the team pored over the digital blueprint, the implications became impossible to ignore. If this reconstruction was accurate, the Ark was not merely a relic of myth. It was a sophisticated engineering achievement that required knowledge, planning, and resources previously unimagined for the time period. It was both historical and miraculous, blending human ingenuity with what many would call divine guidance. The AI's blueprint left the team with one pressing question: could the Ark itself, or remnants of it, still be found in the region indicated by the coordinates? And if so, what truths about history, and about Noah's story, awaited them beneath the layers of earth and time? Following the AI's precise blueprint, the research team turned their attention to the highland floodplain indicated by the coordinates. Excavations began cautiously, guided by satellite imagery and ground-penetrating radar. The area had long been considered ordinary terrain, but beneath centuries of sediment, the AI suggested, lay clues waiting to be uncovered. Early scans revealed anomalies in the soil, linear formations that resembled foundations or depressions, strikingly consistent with the Ark's reconstructed dimensions. The anomalies were not natural. They bore straight edges and regular spacing, impossible to produce by ordinary erosion or geological processes. This discovery sent ripples of excitement through the team. As they dug deeper, fragments of ancient wood and hardened organic materials began to surface. Radiocarbon dating confirmed their age, thousands of years old, coinciding roughly with the timeline of Noah's Ark as described in biblical accounts. Some fragments showed signs of advanced preservation techniques, suggesting deliberate construction methods designed to withstand water and time. Even more astonishing were impressions in the clay-like sediment, imprints consistent with massive beams, possibly the keel and ribs of a giant vessel. The AI matched these to its digital blueprint, revealing a near-perfect correlation. The vessel's footprint, hidden beneath layers of mud and flood deposits, aligned exactly with the dimensions derived from ancient texts. Small artifacts surfaced as well: fragments of ropes, carved wooden pegs, and tools that might have been used in construction. Each piece told a story of a civilization capable of orchestrating a monumental feat of engineering. It was a tangible connection between myth and reality, proving that the Ark legend may have been rooted in actual events. For the team, the evidence was undeniable. The floodplain held the remnants of a structure that matched the AI's predictions, bridging the gap between ancient narratives and modern science. But even as they marveled at these discoveries, the AI hinted at something more: an inner compartment, possibly intact, containing secrets that had survived millennia beneath the Ark's colossal frame. As the team explored deeper into the floodplain, the true scale of the discovery began to emerge. The foundations and depressions revealed a complexity that far exceeded anything previously imagined for ancient construction. Beams interlocked with precision, forming compartments that suggested not just a simple floating vessel, but a sophisticated multi-level structure engineered for stability and longevity. Ground-penetrating radar revealed internal partitions and channels running through what remained of the Ark's frame. These channels appeared to have been designed for water flow, ventilation, and possibly waste management, engineering concepts thought impossible for the time period. The researchers were forced to confront a startling reality. Whoever built this vessel had knowledge centuries ahead of known ancient civilizations. The AI highlighted anomalies in the sediment that pointed to materials now lost to history. Certain areas contained metallic residues, perhaps used to reinforce the wooden structure. Other sections showed traces of substances that could have served as waterproofing, remarkably similar to modern resins. Every layer seemed intentionally crafted, a testament to meticulous design and advanced understanding of structural integrity. Even stranger, some compartments suggested the Ark may have been designed for more than just animals. The layout included spaces that could have housed seeds, food stores, and even tools, indicating preparation for long-term survival beyond the flood itself. The AI mapped these spaces with precision, revealing a level of planning that defied historical logic. The team could hardly believe what they were uncovering. Ancient texts spoke of a massive vessel, but the structural complexity discovered in the floodplain suggested a civilization capable of technological feats far beyond what had been recorded. If this was truly Noah's Ark, then the legend was only the surface of a much deeper reality, an intersection of divine story, human ingenuity, and survival strategy. Every beam, partition, and artifact forced a reconsideration of history. The Ark was no longer just a story, it was an engineering marvel, a tangible structure that had survived the ages, silently waiting to reveal the truth about one of humanity's oldest and most enduring mysteries. As the excavation progressed, the team turned their attention to the genetic implications of the Ark. The AI analyzed ancient DNA samples extracted from preserved sediments and organic fragments, cross-referencing them with modern species to trace lineage and diversity. The results were astonishing. The patterns suggested that the Ark had not just housed animals randomly, it had been organized with a clear understanding of reproduction, habitat needs, and ecological balance. The AI identified groupings of species in compartments that would have allowed them to survive long-term, minimizing conflict and maximizing survival chances. Even carnivores and herbivores appeared to have been spatially separated, a level of planning that implied foresight far beyond what would be expected in the ancient world. More remarkably, the AI detected genetic markers in some fragments indicating that certain species had traits optimized for survival during extended periods of confinement, suggesting that those aboard the Ark may have been selected with an instinctive knowledge of heredity. The AI correlated these findings with ancient texts, revealing cryptic references to pairs chosen for the continuation of life, now supported by tangible genetic evidence. The implications were staggering. If the Ark had truly carried a representative sample of all land-dwelling species, and if these genetic patterns were preserved, it suggested that the biblical account may have been grounded in biological reality. The AI's analysis provided a window into the Ark's internal organization, demonstrating that it was more than a vessel. It was a carefully designed ecosystem. Dr. Khalid, reviewing the AI's findings, shook his head in disbelief. "It's as if the Ark was a blueprint for life itself," he whispered. "Not just a story, but a living experiment in survival." The fusion of ancient knowledge, natural design, and modern computation painted a picture that was as thrilling as it was unsettling. The Ark may have been humanity's first attempt at safeguarding biodiversity on a global scale. Yet even with this revelation, the AI hinted at one final discovery, a truth that would challenge everything previously believed about Noah, the flood, and the Ark itself. The AI had one final layer of analysis to perform, and when it processed all the data together, textual records, satellite imagery, structural blueprints, and genetic markers, the results stunned the team. The algorithm revealed something no human had anticipated. The Ark, as described in ancient texts, was not merely a historical vessel, but part of a global network of flood survival strategies. Patterns in ancient manuscripts from regions as far-flung as Mesopotamia, Anatolia, and even the Indus Valley suggested that multiple civilizations had encoded information about flood-resistant structures, animal preservation, and survival techniques. The AI demonstrated that Noah's Ark was a central node in a system of shared knowledge, preserved through cryptic texts, oral traditions, and symbolic encoding across cultures. More startlingly, the AI's simulations indicated that the Ark's design incorporated features far beyond simple buoyancy. Channels for water flow, compartmentalized airflow systems, and material reinforcement implied knowledge of hydrodynamics and structural engineering centuries ahead of recorded history. The vessel had been engineered not just for survival, but for long-term stability in catastrophic conditions. The team realized the AI had uncovered a shocking implication. The biblical narrative of Noah was not an isolated legend, but a sophisticated record of ancient science and planning. The Ark was a testament to knowledge intentionally preserved through storytelling, myth, and coded text. Humanity had, unknowingly, been guided by these records for millennia. The revelation left the researchers grappling with profound questions. Who originally designed the Ark and encoded this knowledge? How did these ideas survive through time and cultural upheaval? And most importantly, what other hidden truths about early civilization and its technological capabilities remained buried, waiting to be revealed? For the first time, the Ark was no longer just a story of divine intervention. It was evidence of ancient intelligence, foresight, and innovation now brought to light through the lens of artificial intelligence. The team finally reached the location predicted by the AI, a highland plateau partially obscured by centuries of sediment and erosion. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed what the AI had long suggested. The ARK's structure, or at least its remnants, still lay beneath the surface, preserved in part by layers of mud and mineral deposits. As the team carefully excavated, the scale and precision of the vessel became undeniable. Inside the partially preserved compartments, traces of organic material, construction tools, and ancient fastenings were found exactly where the AI's blueprint had predicted. The layout confirmed what had long been considered impossible. The ARK had been meticulously designed to sustain life for extended periods, accommodating hundreds of species, with provisions, ventilation, and water flow systems aligned with the needs of each compartment. The AI had done more than locate a historical artifact. It had revealed that the biblical narrative was rooted in fact, enhanced by a level of engineering and biological understanding that modern science is only beginning to comprehend. Noah, as described in Scripture, had not merely built a boat. He had constructed a self-sustaining ecosystem, guided by principles encoded in texts across multiple civilizations. The implications were staggering. Humanity now faced a story where faith, history, and science converged, rewriting our understanding of ancient technology, ecological preservation, and the transmission of knowledge. The ARK was no longer just a symbol. It was a testament to human ingenuity, foresight, and the enduring power of encoded wisdom. As the team documented their findings, one question lingered: what other truths lie hidden in myths, awaiting discovery by the convergence of human curiosity and artificial intelligence? The ARK had revealed its secret, but the story of knowledge, survival, and ancient ingenuity was far from over. AI has unveiled a Noah's Ark more incredible than legend ever suggested, engineered, encoded, and preserved through time. History, science, and faith intersect in ways we never imagined. Share your thoughts, subscribe, and join the journey as we continue uncovering the truths long hidden beneath the layers of our past.